It is estimated that 1 in 5 women on college campuses has been sexually assaulted during their time there. 1 in 5. These young women worked so hard just to get into college. Often their parents are doing everything they can to help them pay for it. So when they finally make it there, only to be assaulted, that is not just a nightmare for them and their families. It's an affront to everything they've worked so hard to achieve. It's totally unacceptable.
I think sometimes students, they go through that sexual harassment training when they come in as a freshman, but then they never think about it again. And I don't feel like it's productive to point fingers at students and tell them what to do or not to do. It's about having a dialogue with them.
I think students don't really have to think about whether they can be a victim, who is a victim, who are perpetrators. It's not in their thought process most of the time. I mean, you're a high school student, you come to college, you're thinking about all the exciting things in college and your journey here, and you're not thinking that sexual assault is going to be a part of that journey, and you don't know that statistically that's the prime age for you to experience sexual assault.
People need to know that it can happen to anyone. That's an unfortunate reality, but I think sometimes sexual assault is stigmatized to certain groups of people when in reality it can happen to anyone. We prevent sexual assault by talking about it and letting people know that it's okay to talk about it, and talking about how it happens, who it happens to, what are some of the preventative measures that we can take. Because I think a lot of times the issue here is that people don't actually know what consent is. They don't know that they're assaulting someone, or they don't have a formal education about this issue. And so I think the best thing we can do is raise awareness about it and educate others about how they can intervene.
I think a perpetrator just doesn't realize that that's what they are until maybe after the fact and someone comes forward and says, I don't think that I consented to that. I don't think that what happened in this situation was something that I really wanted to happen. But I think they're just in situations where they don't realize the level of consent that is needed within the law. That if you're drinking or you're under the influence of anything, that you cannot obtain consent for sex. We have rape culture, and rape culture kind of has given us the mindset that boys will be boys, and in these situations where people are having a good time and there's alcohol involved, that the rules don't apply in this situation. And so I think that's the confusion, and it's the societal view of rape and the view of sexual violence that helps a perpetrator not own their role. Non-consensual sex is definitely traumatic, whether there's violence in there or not.
Because our schools need to be places where our young people feel secure and confident as they prepare to go as far as their God-given talents can carry them. A shift in our attitudes about how we think about sexual violence and how much we value the lives and dignity of our wives and sisters and daughters and sons. But now it's up to each of us, every single one of us, to keep up that momentum.